So today we're going to try to figure out what the heck is wrong with the old LS Miata. I was going to be working on the Fummins build today, but I was welding my AC lines together yesterday and the one exploded, so I'm waiting on an AC line for that, which will be here in a day or two. So we're going to take this time to figure out what's wrong with the Miata, because we got invited to go do some sick drifting at a sick place that I really am excited for, and I want to make sure I don't miss out on it and that the car is running good when we get there. So if you didn't see the last video, basically we took this thing to a private drift day, and first it was running pretty mediocre in general. It was like breaking up real bad and whatever, and I just kind of like ripped through it and cleared it out. And I've had that happen one other time, and my guess then and now is that, you know, the E85, both times the car had sat for a month and a half or so. And my thought was, okay, the E85 got some moisture in it, we cleared it out, it's good to go now. So this time it did clear up a bit, but it was still leaning out up top. If I quarter throttle around the track, I'd keep it in the 13, 14 air fuels. If I tried to go full throttle, it would just spike up to 18, 19, just full lean, so lean that the engine would stop revving. So obviously, not good, not good. My filter was super clogged, and that definitely was a huge contributing factor. But after cleaning it, still had the same problem. So we're gonna try to diagnose the fuel system today, one piece at a time. We have pretty much every component, an extra of every component for the fuel system for other projects. So we should be able to sort it out, and I'm gonna bring you guys along for the troubleshooting process and see if we can figure it out together. So first order of business though is our tires. They're done, they're toast. You can see that one's flat. So we need to put some good tires on it, and we need to go take this thing for a baseline rip, because the problem occurred in drifting. I don't know if the same problem is going to occur street driving the car. And if we change something and we go out and we street drive and it seems fine, maybe it's not fine. Maybe it's just we can't replicate the problem. So we need to figure out what we need to do to replicate the problem. We know the problem should still be there. And then from there, we can start changing things, figure out what the heck's wrong with it. So let's get to it. Camera rigged up on the fuel pressure regulator. I wish I had a fuel pressure sensor right now. Holly, the Terminator kit, like the wiring harness, comes with a plug for a fuel pressure sensor. I was like, this thing's not turbo, like it loses fuel pressure, it just won't run right, which is true. But in this situation, it would be nice to see if we're losing fuel pressure, because basically, if the injectors are not good, if the injectors are clogged up from debris and stuff, we would probably have good fuel pressure and just it'd be leaning out still. Whereas if we're losing fuel pressure, it's something back before the injectors. Could also be both. Times like these are why I keep the Miata registered and street legal. queen out in second. We take it to rev limiter and just let her sit on it. So there we have it. Fuel pressure is dropping like a stone at high RPM rev limiter. That doesn't rule out that we got some gunk in our injectors, but it 100% means we have a problem with our feed, with our fuel feed system. So in my mind, there's a couple possibilities here. Possibility number one, the fuel filter was incredibly dirty. It was absolutely disgusting. I cleaned it out at the track, but it was really, really gross. That is what came out of my fuel filter. Yeah. What that could do is the filter being so clogged will make the pump work overtime, and we could have worn out the pump by making it pump through that clogged mesh filter, you know, backfeeding so much pressure into it. I have seen that happen before. Thing number two, the filter is just still not clean enough. There's still a bunch of contaminants trapped in it. That I'm iffy on. However, we have a screen, like a new fuel filter element, so we might as well change that for good measure. And then I have another fuel pump that I'm gonna have to put in when I put the bigger motor in anyway. So if that doesn't fix it, we'll throw that in. Throw that in either way. But again, troubleshooting, it's good to change one thing at a time, unless one of the things you're doing, it would be way easier to do the other thing at the same time. You know, like obviously don't change your fuel sock because it's dirty and not change your pump if you have a pump kind of thing. But if you do it one at a time, you know, you can accurately figure out what solved the problem, and then that way you know for the future. And honestly, that might sound silly, but the knowledge of problems and their solutions is 70% of working on cars, honestly. I mean, like, really is like a huge part of it. One, figuring out problems. Two, preventing them from happening in the future when you're putting something together or building something. So it's very good to have that knowledge, and you only gain it by doing it and having problems. So whenever you have a problem, just remember you're gonna learn something from it. Enough talking. Let's get this filter out. Not very fun. Get soaked. Luckily we're on E85. It's a lot better to get soaked in that than gas. Time to have some fun, boys. When you're undoing fuel lines like this, is the fact that as you're trying to pull the line off, twist it off by hand, you tend to oh, come on, bud, there we go. It tends to want to run down your arm, and you're stuck. Fuel coming down your arm. Yeah, like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Oh, and we got it down our arm. That was the wrong size cap. This should be the right size cap. It's not gonna stop, is it? Like I said, time to have some fun, boys. Not drain all the fuel out of the tank onto the ground, because these fittings have a weep hole for when you start to loosen them, so you can drain them before you. I gotta figure something out. Okay, for now that's gonna work. As you can see, it looks fine from the outside. Here we have brand new filter housing that was destined for the RX-7. I'm just gonna make sure, well, yeah, I just gotta see which way, make sure I get the flow the correct way, basically. Okay, so we want it to come in this side. Rag has not worked very well for us. Feed side on first. That way, well, the feed to the engine side on first. That way, when we hook up the feed from the tank, it doesn't just start spilling out everywhere. All right, new filter housing installed. We're gonna go test drive it again. I think we've got a pump issue from running with such a dirty filter, but we'll find out. Definitely be good to know either way. Take two. Let's see. What are your guesses? Post your guesses in the comments below. My guess is it's not gonna fix it. We ran too long with a clogged filter and we wore out the pump. That would be my guess. I've had that pump in there for a very, very long time too. the pressure. You guys already know what it is. I'm assuming it's dropping off still. All right, let's see what we can figure out. Today on Ben Sings in the background, Flow Rider handlebars.
Are you filming right now?
Oh, I am, bud.
I'm sorry, YouTube audience. I'll shut up.
So this actually kind of works out because I was going to need to change this fuel pump when we put the 6.2 in anyway. And I actually should have changed it a long time ago. Basically, long story short, I have everything in here for a Deechworks brushless fuel pump. All the wiring, everything ready to go, the controller. However, I took it out because I didn't want to have to wire in the switch for the high power. It was like a last minute thing before an event. I didn't have time to wire it in. So I just put the normal pump back in and never got around to putting the brushless one in. So now we can just go ahead and put the brushless one in, and should have done that in the first place. But I mean, I guess it kind of works out because we would have probably trashed our brushless pump if it was still in here. Looks good. All right, one pump out. Let's throw our new pump in. All right, got it all assembled. You can see, because this is a brushless pump, it's a 4-wire because it needs by AC frequency instead of just direct current on, off. So anyway, 4-wire, you get this bulkhead with it. I had already put this in to basically bulkhead through the fuel hat, so we're not going to use this one anymore, but I'm going to leave it in here. One, obviously to seal it up. Two, I'm going to eventually wire in a fuel level sensor one day. So anyway, yeah, we got to get this back in the car. All right, fuel pump assembly is in. We just got to wire it up. I got to hook it up. I got to cut this wire here. So basically, again, this pump is brushless. Has a pump controller. So there's 2 wires. Right here, I'll show you on this harness. There's a red and a white and a black, obviously. So the black is ground, see, easy enough. The red wire is constant power, or normal power. So with the red wire powering the pump, red wire on, the pump's gonna run at its lower output of 265 liters per hour. Now you connect the white pump, the white wire, I can't remember if it's to power or ground. You signal it and then the pump goes to full tilt 440 liter per hour mode. So I don't think we need more than 265 for this current motor configuration. We definitely will with the bigger motor. I'm gonna try to wire it up just normal. We'll see where we're at. If we need to, we'll wire in our white wire. But when I do the new engine, I'm going to be pulling the dash, redoing the PDM setup and pretty much all my wiring, new Holley terminator. So I'm going to be in there messing with all that stuff. So I prefer to just do it after the fact, but if we have to do it now, we do. So anyway, yeah, I just got to get this wired up easy enough. All right, it's working. Sweet. All right, let's find out if it works or not. First time I've driven this thing with the top off in a while. Yeah, it's so much louder with the top off, like in the car. like I said, the filter was dirty, but I cleaned it and it was having the same problem. So I didn't think that it was just still dirty enough to cause the problem. But again, troubleshooting, you gotta know what fixes it. Which I kind of screwed up. Let me explain. So when my diff dropped out of the car at the drag strip during the open house week, it kind of flopped up and the drive shaft rubbed really hard against the gas tank. So I replaced the gas tank. And I remember when I put the fuel hanger assembly into this, like the new gas tank, basically it didn't want to go in right. It was like hitting the bottom of the tank, and I kept sliding it up and up and up, and it was just still hitting the bottom of the tank just a little bit. And like when I tightened the bolts down, it would be okay. Forgot about that. When I went to put this pump in, the same thing was happening. And it's, you know, it's in the stock hanger. So I'm thinking I might have grabbed a 1.6 tank or something. I don't know. Maybe there's got to be something different with this tank, because it's in the stock hanger in the stock spot. There's no reason why it should be hitting the bottom of the tank. So anyway, long story short, I slid this pump up. Like I took the little bottom bracket off, slid the pump up some, and yeah, so I think that might have been it. It might have kind of worked its way down even further and been sucking to the bottom of the tank, because the strainer here, you know, if that's hitting the bottom of the tank, it's going to have a hard time sucking in fuel if it's got such a limited window. So anyway, I think that might be it. I'll have to mess around, try this pump. I might throw it in the FC and just see what happens. See if it still works. You know, the FC still runs fine or what. And then we'll know whether it was the pump or not. But anyway, I'm glad we got it fixed. So I'm going to clean this mess up, and then we've got some exciting parts. I'll show you. So we've got parts for the old 6.2. I'm really excited about this engine, and we'll be going into the LS Miata very soon, probably within the next couple weeks, barring any complications with the old Fummins build. I want to get this truck done. This truck has been a big project. It's been ongoing for longer than I would have liked. I want to finish this before I dive into the Miata and start swapping this motor in, because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff while we're there. We're doing the while you're there's. I know. This car has done me well, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, so anyway, moral of the story is it's getting the full treatment when it comes to this engine. So we've got a bunch of sick stuff from Holley and MSD. We've got Holley tall dry sump valve covers. I have a dry sump. I don't need an oil fill at the engine. I fill it in the tank in the back, so I don't have an oil fill to deal with. Some fancy Msd coils. These are sick. Oh, they look incredible. There's a lot you can do with these. We'll get into that later. We'll put them on though. MSD plug wires and Excel plug wire boots. These are a must on an LS, because plug wires are right by your header and they will touch and melt and burn if you don't have those. So crucial. Let's get this stuff on the engine. I am so excited. We got to take a glance at what it looks like before. The old stock coil pack, stock valve covers. Oh man, it's gonna look so much better. Oh, it's gonna look so much better. All right, I just wish I had a nice throttle body. I need to order a throttle body. Dun, dun, dun. Almost don't want to put them on yet, so I'm going to scratch them up. I'm going to try not to scratch them up. Oh, it's nice they got the baffle for here too, so that's where I'll try to get they got it all the way down. That's sick. So we can put our AN fitting anywhere in here, and there's this piece of metal here to prevent oil from splashing up into it. So you're only getting the vapors essentially. So that makes life way easier. You can put your freaking AN fitting anywhere. I need to get some new valve covered gaskets. I thought I ordered some already, but I did not. Typical. Man, what a difference that makes already. Oh, that was a weird sound. Now for our fancy ignition coils. Ooh, buddy. Look at that. Ladies and gents, what is this? Oh, it's bolts. Okay, I grabbed my own bolts. They said, no, so I only got you covered. At least I grabbed the right length bolts. Look. I'm gonna use the gold bolts. Save these for later. Oh, it just looks so good. All right. Does that look like a race motor or what? All right, last but not least, our plug wires. Obviously, we'll probably take these off before we put the engine in the car, but you know, one of those things. It can be extra motivating sometimes to put this stuff together. When you get the motor out of the car, kind of see what the finished product's gonna be like, you know? I don't know. Does anybody else do that? I definitely do it. Can't help it sometimes. Just like, I wanna see what it looks like with these plug wires and with these coil packs. I have to know. Nice, positive snap. So one thing you'll notice with cheaper plug wires is they don't, like, they're just not made to like a tight enough tolerance, and they don't snap in. They just kind of like gooey slide on there, whereas the nice ones have that nice snap. You know it's on. God, this thing looks so cool, dude. I can't get over it. Yeah, we definitely got to change that throttle body now. Everything else looks so dang fancy. Man, it's so nice having these valve covers. These nice, simple, compared to having the other ones and having this giant bracket on there. We will have to take this wiring and put it on there. But still, the clean valve covers with just the post for the coils, and then no other crap, no oil filler, no nothing. It just looks so good. It looks so good. I would feel so weird if I was putting this stuff on my 5.3, but this motor is going to be pretty rowdy, so I don't feel as bad putting such nice parts on it. Oh man, that looks sick. Well, I guess that's enough fun for today. These parts came in and I couldn't help myself. I wanted to see them, and then I got them out of the box, and you know, can't help but put them on the engine. So there she is, folks. Push her back to the corner until we're ready. I just want to give a huge thanks to Holly for sending this stuff over. They have been such a big supporter of this build. They have helped us out so much on getting the parts we need together for this build and revamping the LS Miata. I am so excited for it, man. I'm so excited for this engine. I'm so excited for all the other stuff that I'm going to do while it's apart. Like, it's going to be like a whole new car when we're finished. And I am so stoked. Like, I'm so excited to bring it kind of to that next level. And anyway, they've just been a huge help in getting there. So I just want to say thanks to them. And if you guys don't already follow their social channels, you are missing out. You got to follow them at least on Instagram. They post really good content. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for tonight. Like I said, motor should be going in the next week or two, and all the other stuff as well. But for now, we've got it fixed to go drifting, which is very exciting. It is going to be really, really fun. I think you guys are going to enjoy what we're going to go do. So I hope to see you for that and for more Fummins build stuff. But for now, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.